Breaking news out of Dallas today has left NFL fans across the country absolutely stunned. In a move that nobody saw coming, the Dallas Cowboys have officially signed All-Pro cornerback Jaire Alexander in what many are already calling one of the most shocking and impactful deals of the 2025 offseason. This isn't just a roster move, this is a full-blown power shift in the NFL landscape. The Cowboys, a team with championship ambitions for years, have just taken a massive leap toward dominance, sending a clear message to the rest of the league. They're not just coming to compete, they're coming to conquer. The signing of Jaire Alexander marks a monumental turning point in the Cowboys' strategy and signals the birth of a new defensive era, what fans are now calling the rise of Blue and Toya, the defensive tandem of Alexander and Trevon Diggs that could redefine lockdown coverage in today's pass-heavy NFL. Now, let's backtrack a bit and understand why this move has people losing their minds. Jaire Alexander has been one of the NFL's premier cornerbacks since he was drafted by the Green Bay Packers in the first round of the 2018 NFL Draft. Known for his elite coverage skills, physical play, and ability to blanket top receivers, Alexander has consistently been one of the most feared defensive backs in the game. His 2022 season was a masterclass in defensive execution: 5 interceptions, 14 pass deflections, and countless plays that never made the stat sheet but shifted the course of games. With him on the field, quarterbacks hesitate. Offensive coordinators adjust. That's the kind of presence Alexander brings. But over the last 2 seasons, things had become complicated in Green Bay. Despite his talent, he dealt with nagging injuries that kept him from staying on the field consistently. Still, when healthy, there's no debate he's a top 5 corner, and some argue he's the best pure man coverage defender in the game. The Packers, dealing with salary cap constraints and facing a bit of an identity crisis post-Aaron Rodgers, had some tough decisions to make. After restructuring Alexander's contract to free up nearly $9.5 million in cap space in early 2024, many speculated this was just a move to buy time. But the reality was clearer: they were preparing for life without him. Alexander had a massive cap hit looming in 2025, and the franchise, now clearly rebuilding, wasn't ready to invest long-term money in a veteran defensive star when their focus was youth, draft picks, and financial flexibility. The Cowboys saw this unfolding situation and moved swiftly. Jerry Jones, never one to shy away from bold moves, orchestrated what could go down as the defining trade of this NFL era. Dallas gave up significant capital, reportedly a high draft pick and some future conditional selections, but what they got in return is something you can't put a price on: a defensive game-changer. Adding Jaire Alexander to a defense that already boasts Micah Parsons, arguably the most disruptive pass rusher in football, and Trevon Diggs, the ball-hawking corner who leads the NFL in interceptions over the last 3 seasons, is simply terrifying. Teams now face the impossible decision of who to throw at. On one side, you've got Alexander, the technician who mirrors receivers with laser precision. On the other, you've got Diggs, who turns defense into offense in the blink of an eye. And in the front 7, Parsons is breathing down your neck every second. This is not just a defense, this is a unit that can suffocate you, confuse you, and break your spirit. For opposing quarterbacks, Sundays just became a nightmare. And that's exactly what the Cowboys needed. Let's be honest, Dallas has been stuck in the almost tier for the better part of the last decade. Talented rosters, playoff appearances, but no true breakthroughs. Every year, there's talk of this is the year, and every year ends in heartbreak. But this time feels different. This move doesn't just improve their team, it changes their culture. It tells the locker room, the fans, and the entire organization that the front office believes the time is now. No more building for the future. No more waiting. This is a Super Bowl or bust kind of transaction. And that pressure? That's what great franchises embrace. Jaire Alexander, for his part, seems energized by the change. In his introductory press conference, he called the move a new chapter and said he's excited to bring his brand of physical, competitive football to Dallas. He acknowledged his injury struggles but emphasized that he's fully healthy, training hard, and ready to play the best football of his career. "I feel like I've got something to prove," he said. I've always played with a chip on my shoulder, but this year it's a mountain. And let's talk about that nickname Blue and Toya. Where did it come from? Well, in classic internet fashion, it all started with a tweet. A Cowboys fan jokingly referred to Alexander and Diggs as Blue and Toya after a popular R&B duo, saying they were about to make sweet music on defense. The tweet went viral, and just like that, the nickname stuck. But there's something deeper about it. It represents the Cowboys' flair, the showmanship, the drama, the star power. This is a team that's always been about more than just football. It's about identity, about culture, about being America's team, and when you've got two shutdown corners nicknamed after a duo that made waves, you know the brand is strong. The marketing potential is endless, but more importantly, the on-field potential is even greater. Defensive coordinator Dan Quinn must be salivating at the possibilities. With Alexander in the mix, he can run complex coverage schemes, disguise blitzes, and truly unleash Micah Parsons without fear of being exposed in the secondary. And let's not forget, this deal doesn't happen in a vacuum. The NFC landscape has shifted dramatically. The Eagles remain strong. The 49ers are elite. The Lions are ascending. And yet, with this move, the Cowboys may have leapfrogged all of them in terms of pure roster talent. Their offense, led by Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Tony Pollard, has firepower. But now the defense has identity, swagger, a cornerstone, and with the leadership of veterans like DeMarcus Lawrence and the explosiveness of Parsons and Diggs, this could be the most balanced Cowboys team in years. Of course, there are questions. How will Alexander fit into the Cowboys scheme after years in Green Bay's system? Will he stay healthy for a full season? Will the spotlight of Dallas, and let's be honest, there's no brighter spotlight in sports, be too much? These are fair questions. But if you believe in betting on talent, then there's no question this was the right move. You don't win Super Bowls by playing it safe. You win by swinging big. And this was a grand slam. Fans are already buzzing. Jerseys are flying off the shelves. Ticket sales for training camp in Oxnard just spiked. The hype is real, and for good reason. Because in the NFL, defense wins championships, and the Cowboys just became very, very difficult to score on. This signing also sends a message to the locker room. To Micah Parsons, it says, "We've got your back." To Dak Prescott, it says, "You don't need to score 40 every game." To the coaching staff, it says, "Go win it all." And to the rest of the league, it says, "You've been warned." As we approach the 2025 season, all eyes will be on Dallas. Every snap, every play, every matchup will be dissected. That comes with the territory. But if there's one thing we've learned from this franchise, it's that when they commit to a vision, they go all in. And now, with Jaire Alexander wearing the star, that vision has never been clearer. It's about legacy. It's about proving the doubters wrong. It's about finally bringing the Lombardi Trophy back to Arlington. So get ready, Cowboys Nation. Because the Blue and Toya era has begun. And something tells us this ride is going to be unforgettable.